Diligence is the food of champions. And whilst winners may win occasionally, champions win consistently. And to get to the top of your career in the shortest possible time, you've got to be able to win the heart of everyone you report to consistently throughout your career. And that means you must be a champion. And to be a champion, you must be diligent. And I mean, by being diligent, you've got to have that habit of doing the right thing at the right time and knowing what is most important to do and doing it. Your boss is looking for someone who is diligent, someone who's willing to do what he or she knows needs to be done, whether they feel like it or not. Because diligent people put their knowing before their feeling. And let's be clear, diligence is not an event. It's not something that happens from time to time. Diligence is a lifestyle. And this means that it will take your boss a while to conclude that you are diligent. So don't be disappointed if on the first day of being at work, your boss cannot call you diligent. The word diligent is mostly used as the opposite of lazy. A diligent person is hardworking. Therefore, the way to build a reputation of diligence is through consistent hard work, working at the right thing, the right way, and consistently getting the right results. I need you to do me a little calculation. Do you realize that simply by arriving at work 1 hour earlier and closing 1 hour later than your colleagues, if you do the numbers, you'll find out that you would actually have put in 13 months of working hours in 12 calendar months. Just do the numbers and you would see that it is true. Diligence is not merely being the last to leave the office. It means consistently delivering more than your colleagues and your competitors as a result of putting in more hours than anybody else. And of course, this is assuming that you spend the extra hours that you're putting in working and not just making personal phone calls or engaging in other wasteful use of official resources. Please don't underestimate the performance leverage and extra results that you will get by making good use of the first extra hour preparing for the day. But you must resist the temptation of receiving unofficial and uninvited visitors to work either in person or on the phone. Never put yourself in a position where your boss has to remind you that you're being paid for the time that you're spending at work. Now that will be disastrous. Diligent people invest their time. They don't just spend it. So what's the difference? Well, if giving your time to anything will help your organization achieve its goals faster, then you have invested your time. Otherwise, you have just spent that time. So you must remember that your organization actually pays you for every minute of your official hours. And the reason why your salary is called a reward is that it is a payment for time that is supposed to be well spent. Always ask yourself what you spent the last few minutes doing. I want you to remember that tiny drops of minutes, tiny ticks of the clock, make a whole day. So, do you need a few minutes of the day to refresh? Fantastic. But that's what your lunch break was created for. So, use your lunch break to refresh and don't just use extra official time. Consciously build a reputation of diligence, especially when you think that no one is watching. And you must remember that diligence or the lack of it cannot be hidden. And because it is done consistently, it will always show up in your contributions and your results, for the simple reason that consistency always produces results. So, whether you realize it or not, others are looking at you and observing how you use your time. Be diligent, and I promise you, you will easily win the heart and appraisal of your boss. And that is how you're going to get to the top of your career in the shortest possible time.